Good Monday evening. I'm Chief Meteorologist Emily Wahls. Our winter storm that we've been tracking for nearly a week now is finally about to start making its way in. So over this evening, we're going to see rain moving in, quickly transitioning over to snow, and it could be heavy snow from midnight to about 4 a.m. After that, it should taper off ever so slightly, and then we'll start to see some portions of the area transitioning back over to rain tomorrow, while others are stuck with all snow. So let's dive in, take a look at our weather alerts for you. All locations that you see here highlighted in purple. This is a winter weather advisory. This begins at 8 p.m. tonight, lasts through noon tomorrow. Most areas in this purple shaded area going to see a storm total of about 3 to 6 inches. But for those of you north and west of I-55, highlighted in pink here, that's a winter storm warning, so the snow impact's going to be much higher in this location. This includes McHenry, Lake County, Illinois, DeKalb, Kane County, as well as LaSalle County. 6 to 12 inches of snow going to be possible for your storm total by the end of the day on Tuesday and into the early morning hours of Wednesday. So let's talk about those totals right now. This is going to be coming in 2 waves. First wave, that's going to be tonight. Again, heavy snow is possible from midnight through about 4 a.m. After that, it shouldn't be quite as heavy. But in that short amount of time, most areas across the region going to be seeing 2 to 5 inches of snow. And then watch what happens during the daytime hours tomorrow. So the west, the northwest suburbs, continue with snow. Most areas along and east of I-55 actually going to see rain for a good portion of the day before one last push of snow moves through in the evening. But when you're talking about the totals here, locations along and east of I-55, they're not going to change all that drastically from what we see in the morning. That's because we're picking up mainly rain, and also because of that, a lot of the stuff that we pick up tonight, again, that 2 to 5 inch range, if you are east of I-55, a lot of that's likely going to melt because we're seeing rain, so that's going to likely eat away at all of the totals that we picked up during the overnight. Now, talking totals to the west and northwest, along I-55 and north and westward, that's where it starts to get pretty impressive. So 6 to 12 inches going to be possible. The highest totals likely going to be found in northwestern LaSalle County through DeKalb County, and then reaching up into McHenry, possibly the far northwestern extent of Lake County. But something that's interesting that I think we're going to see happen tonight and tomorrow, and this map isn't necessarily reflecting that very well, is right along the lakefront, we're going to see some rain mixing in. So the lake temperatures, the water temperatures, still pretty close to 40 degrees. So that's going to have an influence on what type of precipitation we're having, since we don't have this really cold air mass in place. We're going to be hovering right around the freezing mark all night tonight and then through the day tomorrow too. So for those of you in the eastern portion of Lake County, Illinois, notice Waukegan coming in at 12 inches. I'm not buying that part of it. Do I think 12 inches is possible in the far northwest portions of Lake County and into McHenry? Sure, that's absolutely a possibility, but we're going to see a really, really sharp cutoff as we approach the lake in Lake County. Same thing for Cook County, so the lakefront in Chicago, we're going to see rain for a good portion of the day tomorrow. That's, again, eating away at some of those snow totals. So the lakefront here showing 6 inches, Waukegan showing 12 inches. I do think those numbers are a little bit too high, but everywhere else it's looking pretty good. Again, 3 to 6 inches on average for most areas that are going to be in the advisory area, and then generally 6 to 12 inches going to be possible north and west of I-55. So let's time things out for you here. This is a look at the satellite and radar. Our storm system, it's been building off to our southwest. We are now starting to see some precipitation building into the far southwest suburbs. Places like LaSalle County beginning to see some snow falling, but really don't be surprised if you start to see some rain mixing in at times, because our temperatures are still pretty marginal. Most areas are sitting in the mid-30s out there this evening. So Futurecast taking us throughout this evening and into the overnight hours. Again, starting off with some rain as a potential, but then quickly transitioning over to snow. And heavy snow is going to be possible from midnight through at least about 4 a.m. Then do you see how it begins to taper off and come to an end across the far south and southwest suburbs in LaSalle County by about 4 or 5 a.m. So we'll have a brief break in that precipitation, but if you are heading out the door, say early tomorrow morning, 3, 4, 5 a.m., even into 6 a.m. for places closer to Chicago or in northwest Indiana, we could still be seeing the snow coming down. So if you leave early, it's going to be a very snowy, very slow commute. This is going to be that really wet, heavy snow that quickly coats the roadways and reduces your visibility too. So keep that in mind if you're traveling early. Now, if you're traveling a little bit later during the morning hours, here's what you can expect. So I have the clock stepped here between 8 and 9 a.m. on Tuesday. All of the yellows, the greens that you're seeing here, that's representing rain. So we're transitioning over to rain for a good portion of the area, which means that 2 to 5 inches that we pick up tonight, a lot of that's going to melt away during the daytime hours of tomorrow, especially along and east of 55 and then right up the lakefront as well. You can see moving through northern Cook County and then into Lake County. The eastern portion of Lake County, Illinois could potentially be dealing with rain, which of course means the snow totals are going to cut down in a really big way there as well. Now, everywhere north and west of that, you may briefly see a rain-snow mixture, but watch how quickly we transition back over to snow, and those really dark blues that you're seeing here showing up on Futurecast, that means heavy snow. So we're looking at snow rates that could potentially be as high as 1, maybe 2 inches per hour in portions of our north and west suburbs. So again, for those of you, LaSalle County, DeKalb, Kane, McHenry, and Lake County, especially the western half of Lake County, I think that's where we're just going to get clobbered with some very, very heavy snow throughout the daytime hours of tomorrow. That will continue into the evening for locations that end up seeing rain during the day, which again, that's a lot of us from the city over to the south suburbs and then into northwest Indiana. We transition back over to snow. So we have a lot of back and forth in terms of rain and snow with the system, but we finally see things coming to an end by late Tuesday night into the early morning hours of Wednesday, and that is the end of it. At least for now. That's with this system, but we have several systems that are set to move throughout this week. So that weak little system that you see over in Iowa, I have the clock stopped here, Wednesday at 5 p.m. So the daytime hours of Wednesday for us are just fine. We're digging out for those of you in the north and west suburbs. But that weak system, that's set to move through likely late Wednesday night into early morning on Thursday, and that could bring a quick inch to portions of the area. But even after that system, we're not done with the snow. This is your 5-day forecast as far as snow goes. We have snow in the forecast again on Friday, a really good chance of snow, and it could be very heavy. In fact, it could actually end up being a bigger impact system than what we're dealing with tonight and tomorrow. So heavy snow is expected to end this work week. That will linger into Saturday morning, and our next system, so your Friday system, is likely going to be coming along with a lot of wind too. So blizzard-like conditions certainly look like it's going to be a possibility. Of course, we're still about 4 to 5 days out from this system, so we're going to see some of those changes that we always talk about until we're able to nail down that exact track. We won't know exactly what's going to be taking place, but here's your warning that on Friday into Saturday, we could be doing this all over again. So Futurecast then, taking us into Friday, notice how the rain-snow line is, at least with this forecast model, way south than the one that we're dealing with right now. So this next storm system on Friday could be bringing quite a bit of snow to the area, and we might stick with snow as our precipitation type the entire time, which means really impressive totals again. So we're dealing with that Friday night. Finally, that's going to taper off as we go into Saturday morning, but Saturday by 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, we're still seeing the snow coming down. But do you see the winds? So the winds on the backside of this storm system are going to be out of the northwest, drawing in a much, much cooler air mass for us. So on the 7-day forecast, when I show you that, you're going to see that the temperature, the high temperature for Saturday is actually in the upper 20s. I think that's where we're going to be around midnight or around daybreak. And then we're going to drop through the day because we're going to have those strong northwesterly winds bringing in that Arctic air. So it is going to get downright cold by the time we go into Sunday and Monday. We're talking single-digit high temperatures are going to be a possibility by Monday. So for tonight, here's the wrap-up of this system. 32 degrees for the overnight low. It is going to be breezy, so reduced visibilities are expected with this. 2 to 5 inches of snow is likely overnight area-wide, so all across the region. We're in that 2 to 5 inch range tonight. And then tomorrow, remember, we transition over to see some rain south and east of I-55, and then north and west of 55. That's where the brunt of it's going to be. Again, 6 to 12 inches going to be possible in the west and the northwest suburbs, the lesser amounts right along the lakefront. But then generally speaking for the advisory area, 3 to 6 inches expected. Here's a look at that 7-day forecast now. Tomorrow, of course, we have rain and snow. Wednesday, we are dry with a high of 33. Thursday morning, a few snow showers are possible with a high temperature of 31. Then on Friday, that's going to be our next impactful system moving through. So rain, maybe, but at this point, it's starting to look like the better chance is going to be for some really wet, heavy snow on Friday. That will continue all day long into Friday night, even into Saturday morning, and then finally taper off. But on the backside of that storm system is going to be some really cold air, the coldest air that we've felt so far this season. Low temperatures Sunday night into Monday morning, looking like they could be sub-zero. And then that 7 degrees on Monday, that may actually be higher than what we end up seeing. So it's going to get very cold early next week. This week it's all about the snow. Next week it is all about the cold. I'll see you soon on Fox 32 News at 9 with full updates on what's occurring out there right now and what we have coming our way for tonight. And of course, Mike Kaplan, as well as Caitlin Cody and Tim McGill, they're going to keep you posted all throughout tomorrow morning as well for your Tuesday morning commute when all of the snow is coming down. Thanks for watching.